Matthew here from MiniWarGaming.com, bringing you another Beat Matt Batrep.
We work so you can play. MiniWarGaming's Beat Matt Batrep.
Today we are playing Warhammer Fantasy. We have Jamie here from Niagara-on-the-Lake who has challenged me to a 2,000-point game of Ogres versus my Tomb Kings. So these are actually, I think, the two latest Warhammer Fantasy armies, aren't they?
Yes.
As the time of making this battle report, the Ogres and the Tomb Kings are the newest ones. So there you go. You get to preview the two latest armies, if that actually matters or not. Anyways, we're going to be doing 2,000 points, just a regular scenario, just charging across the battlefield and smashing into each other's ranks, and we'll see what happens. So let's take a look at the armies as well as the board. Let's start off by looking at Jamie's Ogre Kingdom's army. This is a 2,000-point army. There's not very many models because they are big and they are tough, so this is a more elite army. We have his three Lord or hero choices here. On the right, we have Bragg the Gutsman. Now, that's actually a Tyrant model, but he's proxying in for Bragg the Gutsman. And we've got an Ogre Firebelly, and then the Butcher in the middle there. And then we've got a group of Nobblers. These guys are just meant to be pesky and annoying. You charge them, they are dangerous terrain. We got the Lead Belchers. These guys are very powerful at a distance with their D6 strength 4 shots each. Then we've got a very strong group of Iron Guts, and then just a regular group of Ogres here. They used to be called Ogre Bulls, but apparently they're just Ogres now. And we have a Thunder Tusk, which also is a stone thrower, which is a lot of fun. Now we'll take a look at my Tomb Kings. So you've probably seen this army before because I only really have a little more than 2,000 points. So when we play 2,000 points, I bring the same basic idea. It's being led by a Tomb King with a Ogre Blade and also a Lich High Priest. And this is a proxy for a regular priest, a level 2 wizard. I have a level 4 wizard and a level 2 wizard. We have a group of 16 archers, no upgrades. We have a group of 50 skeleton warriors with full command. So that's one large group. We've got a group of 6 chariots with full command and a magic banner that gives them an extra inch of movement. We've got a Necro Sphinx and the Bone Giant, which is now called the Colossus. And we've got 14, these are actually horsemen archers. We have some regular horsemen proxying as horsemen archers. So for deployment, we rolled and he won, and he decided to let me go first, which actually will get me the +1 to the roll to see who gets to actually go first, because we have the same number of units to deploy right away. Because my archers, or horsemen archers, are scouts, so they will kind of do like an infiltrative or whatever you call that they can just be placed wherever you want, as long as they're at least 12 inches from the enemy. And so you can see my basic setup like I normally do. I have my warriors and chariot side by side, and they're flanked by the Bone Giant and the Necro Sphinx. And then I have my archers on the other flank just to take some pot shots and draw some of his fire away, because the archers really do suck. The Hierophant and my Tomb King join the large group of skeleton warriors, providing them with a higher weapon skill and regeneration, and also magic resistance. And then my horseman archers deploy on his flank just to try to flank him or rear charge him or anything like that, whatever is useful. It's more useful when he has like a war machine or something that I can just then charge and disrupt, so he's not able to toss the shots from the war machine into my ranks. So you can see we're all set up here. He's got his line ready to go. His strategy is pretty straightforward. It's charge into my line and do as much damage as he can, and the Ogres are very good at that because they are tough, they have lots of wounds, and they are strong. So it's really going to come down to my magic to be able to see if I can do any damage. We roll off. I still won first turn, and I get to go first. We start off with my warriors advancing, the chariots advancing, nothing too fancy here. The archers advancing, the Bone Giant advancing, and the Necrosphinx advancing. And then, of course, my horseman archers in his flanks advance as well. Magic phase, I roll really crappy for how many dice I get, and I managed to get, I think, double shots rolled off, or for my chariots, and so they get to have multiple shots. The Righteous Smiting incantation. Get really lucky with my archers there and managed to take down a couple wounds off of one of the Ogres. The chariots, only the front rank was in range. I forgot to move up far enough, and they failed to inflict any wounds. Then I fire at his little Nobblar Trapper, or whatever they are here, and actually managed to completely destroy his back rank. And he has to make his courage or his morale test, and he makes it. Even though there are only 5, he rolls a 3. Ogre's turn 1, he turns his trappers around to engage the archers, and then he advances everybody else. No charging in this turn because we are too far away. So it's just a matter of everybody getting into position and then seeing how much damage we can do when we smash into each other. His lead belchers, of course, are going to be difficult for me because they are strong and they hit really hard at a distance. And of course his iron guts are very strong, especially because they have Brag and the Butcher inside of there. He rolls really high for his magic phase, so he manages to get a bunch of magic off. Hits my archers with 2d6 strength 2 hits, but only manages to actually kill 2 of them. Then he fires at my archers and inflicts 2 wounds, and I only fail 1 of the saves, which is nice. Then he fires at my Necrosphinx. This is how many attacks he gets, and he has to roll 4s to hit and 6s to wound. Manages to inflict 3 wounds, bringing me down to 2 wounds in the very first turn. Fires at the Stone Thrower, which is a misfire, which in this case all it means is he does not get to fire that turn. It doesn't cause any other mishaps or problems. So as you can see it, casualties on both sides. I took 3 wounds on my Necrosphinx and a couple of archers, and he lost a couple wounds on his lead belchers, as well as one of his ranks of his trappers. So at this point, not very many casualties. I would say it's slightly in his favor if you look at casualties because the Necrosphinx took too many wounds. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can actually just go ahead and click that video for part 2. Otherwise, just click a link below. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you want to see more Warhammer Fantasy Battle Reports, make sure you like this video.